Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating analysis of North England's economic underperformance, a piece that really challenges conventional wisdom.
It's explosive.
I'm eager to hear this. The title alone, Why North England is Poor, is provocative. What's the core argument?
The author argues that North England's economic woes aren't simply due to a human capital crisis, as some suggest, but are rooted in a long history of systemic disadvantages stemming from centuries of centralized power in southeast England. It's a powerful indictment.
Centuries? Wow. Can you elaborate on the historical factors?
Absolutely. The piece traces it back to the Norman conquest, highlighting how power has consistently been concentrated in the southeast. Then, the ban on northern universities for 2 centuries in the 1600s is cited as a major setback, hindering intellectual and economic development. Even the Industrial Revolution, while initially boosting the North, is framed as a double-edged sword.
A double-edged sword? How so?
While the North thrived industrially, its distance from London and the lack of universities meant it lacked the intellectual capital to transition smoothly to a post-industrial economy. The author argues that the subsequent nationalization and privatization of key industries, culminating under Thatcher, further weakened local control and concentrated power in the South. A devastating combination.
So Thatcher's policies are presented as a critical turning point?
Precisely. The author contends that Thatcher's policies, while promoting free markets in the private sector, created a central government monopoly on power, effectively stifling the North's ability to compete. The abolition of metropolitan counties, privatization of services, and the removal of local taxation powers are all highlighted as key factors. It's a really strong critique.
I see. But isn't there a counter-argument? Surely factors like education and skills play a role?
The author directly addresses that. He presents data challenging the notion that human capital is the primary barrier. He argues that the lack of investment in infrastructure and R&D in the North, driven by the central government's preference for the Southeast, is a far more significant factor. He even uses AI to analyze government policies and finds evidence supporting his claims.
That's interesting. So, what solutions are proposed?
The author advocates for 3 key steps: shifting public infrastructure investment to the North, redirecting R&D spending to the North, and decentralizing government power, either by shrinking the central government or relocating it partially to the North. Simple, yet profound. He emphasizes the need for a competitive dispersal of power, rather than a centralized monopoly.
It sounds like a call for a fundamental shift in British political economy. A bold vision. Quite a compelling argument, though.
Absolutely. The author concludes by highlighting the unsustainable nature of the current system, emphasizing the growing fiscal burden on the Southeast to support the economically weaker North. He expresses cautious optimism, pointing to pockets of success in places like Manchester, demonstrating the potential for growth with even modest changes in government policy. A powerful message of hope amidst a stark reality.
It's a fascinating and thought-provoking analysis. Thanks for summarizing it.
My pleasure. And thank you for listening to Tech Bytes and News. We hope you'll join us again for our next deep dive into the world of technology and current events. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.